between Cloud9 Challenger and NRG. And I'm pretty excited to see if they decide to switch it up. Cloud9 Challenger this time, they did get side selection for this game too, and they decided to go with blue side. And with that first pick, we'll see what they decide to prioritize. So far, Cassiopeia banned away from GBM, as that gangplank is again going to be banned away from Cloud9 Challenger.
Interesting to see the Cassiopeia taken away there. So I don't believe it was actually banned out in game 1. It was a Xerath that they did focus.
Yeah.
As it does show us there on the screen. Vladimir, probably something that should always be banned away from GBM though. It's one of his very best champions. He's very effective on it. I think it suits him quite well. And so far, things are the same as far as the bans for NRG. We'll see if they do just kind of keep that status quo if they're looking to do any sort of reactive bans this time around.
Yeah, they're going to have to show us some real changes here in this game if they want to try to keep pace. And despite a relatively slow early game and laning phase from the two teams, I still think that this game could explode quite a bit as Malzahar is going to be taken away from GBM.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to how the teams want to play it, right? I think NRG, their draft was fine. You know, you can question picks and stuff, but I think it was fine. It was just how they played it was not really fine. And you have to play draft-specific ways. You cannot just draft the same thing or two different comps and play them the same way, right? They each have their unique strengths and weaknesses, and you have to play to those. So we'll see if the last ban is going to remain the same. It's going to be Karma taken off the board here. So that ban was dropped by Cloud9 and picked up here by NRG, as they do not want to give away that first pick Karma. So Ashe is available for Cloud9. That was not banned away last time, but it's the Gnar taken up here, first pick by Balls. And will Quas, will NRG, have the confidence to put him in a matchup where he can win this, where he can play an Aurelia into it or play something that is advantageous, or at least has a chance to kind of go even and perhaps carry in other ways.
The pressure is on. With 40 seconds on the clock, NRG will have to decide how they want to try to keep up with Cloud9 Challenger. And as you said, these are all individually skilled players. We know that they can make the plays, we know that they can outskill opponents and even outlane opponents, but they just haven't quite been showing it over the past few weeks of the LCS. And now here in the series, the fact that the trend continues might be a bit worrisome.
Certainly could be, and we are running out of time here, so we're going to get their first two picks. It will be Sivir, which was their first pick last game, and they pick up the Hecarim now for Santorin. So this does allow Santorin to have kind of a more obvious way to play the game, right? You can power farm to 6, and then it's very obvious what you do with the ultimate. It's clear, it's a powerful team fighter. There's less pressure on him to accomplish a lot early on, but Cloud9 very clearly knows what they want to draft, how they want to play. They're going through the picks so quickly, it's like, it almost makes you feel like NRG is playing to their hands. And as NRG, it kind of has to be a little bit worrying, because you're just like, oh, they don't even have to think about that. They're just going to lock it in. They already knew what we were going to pick. It's kind of a weird feeling. So Rek'Sai and going to be the Twitch again picked up. Will be some more backline access here with that Hecarim, and if they're willing to lock in the Aurelia, that gives them a nice matchup in the top lane, and also more backline access for this Altec. So I think so far so good in this draft, but we'll see what the next two picks are going to be here for NRG. And oh wow,
15 seconds left on the clock. It's almost a throwback to old school Cloud9, where they would not pick anything until the last few seconds and then insta-lock or just go through very quickly. But NRG now showing their top laner, Jax for Quas.
Okay, so it is the Jax, it's not the Aurelia, and Jax is something that Quas has played a lot more, and it's probably just more of a comfort pick for him. I would imagine that he would be happy to play that Aurelia if he felt just as comfortable, because it's probably a better matchup. That said, Jax, very solid, and obviously everyone knows the Jax late game is an absolute terror. You have split pushing ability, and we'll see if he actually plays Ghost, because that has kind of been the new hotness on a lot of the top laners. You're seeing people play Ghost Jax. I've even been seeing people play some Ghost Aurelia and things. People are experimenting with it more and more with that lower cooldown. You can kind of use it more often and get into these very advantageous situations. It also works well with Jax simply because you have the ward hop, which can kind of effectively function similar to a flash, where you can queue away to a ward to get over walls and get out of sticky situations. And once again, Cloud9 going to lock in their picks pretty quickly here. Will be LeBlanc and Janna. So mixing it up here in the mid lane, and it's up to GBM to really kind of have this counter pick, and they're trying to give him that advantage, see what he wants to play here against the Malzahar. And does have a lot of options out here on the table. You know, Victor is available. It's something that a lot of people love to play, but will it be what he selects?
Yeah, bit of a throwback towards that old school Cloud9 with the Assassin. Maybe he'll break out Zed in Game 3.
That'd be pretty hype.
It would be
Zed
pretty
in a while.
Yeah. But as you said, it's GBM's time to try to counter it. Malzahar has been banned away, along with his Cassiopeia and Vladimir. Triple mid lane ban. GBM will have to show that he can keep pace in the mid lane. He actually ended up down in CS in game number 1, but Victor is the choice.
Yeah, and I think that makes a lot of sense when you have so much focus on you with those mid lane bans. Victor is solid, has very good team fighting, and I think that the lane is definitely respectable as well. And it's looking like he wants to take barrier here. I think if you build some early MR, if you look towards that Abyssal early, kind of delay your Rylai's and things like that a little bit more, give some respect to the fact that High can assassinate you on this LeBlanc, I think he'll be doing fine, because once you have that MR, your Rylai's is increasing your tankiness as well because you're building up HP, so that should help to keep him safe. And across the board, I do like NRG's draft more this time, but once again, it's still going to come down to execution. It's going to come down to play. How are these guys going to be able to pull it off? Because it's contracts with the aggressive jungler here, and I can't see him, just farming out and not even trying any ganks on this Rek'Sai, because I think that that would be a very big mistake against the Hecarim.
Yeah, in the previous game, we saw him getting a feel for Santorin, really just trying to roam around, keep vision, and make sure that his lanes were safe before exploding in those early team fights. But Cloud9 Challenger looking to take game number 2 in this series, and NRG looking to even it right back up. They have got the mechanical skill to do it, but can they keep pace with Cloud9 Challenger's pace and speed in those fights? It is time to find out as we load onto the Rift for game number 2. Old school Cloud9 with a little bit of new blood versus NRG, who have been playing together for the past 2 months. The challenge, the gauntlet has been thrown.
Certainly has, and there's definitely a different dynamic going into this game, because High, he has a little bit of an onus on him to kind of get something done earlier. LeBlanc, while it can perform in team fights, it's harder to team fight on these assassins than it is on just kind of a traditional mage like Victor. And he's going to be having to try to get ahead and get roams and get assassinations, and Santorin can kind of sit back and scale, and at the same time, Jax can sit back and scale. And like all these guys are very kind of happy to just absorb farm. Not that the late game on C9 is bad by any means. It's still good, and they do have the Twitch, and you still can get assassinations late game and stuff on LeBlanc. But I think that it's going to be NRG that are kind of more happy in those slow-paced farm games this time around, where Cloud9 are probably going to be looking to make something happen.
Well, if the previous game was any indication, Cloud9 might take things a little slow for the first 10 minutes and then slowly start to ramp up the snowball and speed this match up to a lightning victory. But as you can see, we have loaded onto the Rift now. Everyone is racing out. Ping's going out for NRG on that top bush, as they look like they might be setting up a bit of a defensive line here, and Cloud9 doing something similar as they're actually grouped as 3. We saw the upside down lanes in the previous match.
Yeah, I think they want to try to get a little bit of vision here, perhaps. They are walking forward, and Contracts is actually basically just zoning him off. And so see, the bot lane is delayed here, so they're hoping that they will not necessarily spot that these extra guys have come in, and they're hoping that they maybe push up, can perhaps capitalize on that, or at least get some free vision. And if Jax rotates in, he may actually face check the bush. So it's a pretty clever little play here from C9. We'll see if they actually get anything out of it, even just safe vision.
Yeah, there are wards on both of the exits towards the lane.
Yeah, they would have to drop their wards and then recall, or try to do something sneaky where they kind of walk up and then go behind towards that camp and try to catch people on the camp. So there are some options here, and this is a very clever little start for them. We'll see what their kind of long-term plan is, because the fact that they stayed here this long means they want to stop these guys double jungling, and they are kind of expecting that, and they are going to be able to probably catch them off guard. Very likely. We'll see if it pays off. Pretty cool little strat here.
Elimination and Altec cheating forward.
They can just wait, actually. They can actually try to like steal this away, or be very annoying and wait till they take some damage and then try to get aggressive, and here they go.
Starting to stack up some auto attacks. Exhaust on the Santorin. He's down to 200 health. The poison is ticking. Flash is used. He tries to proc it, and at 100 health, Santorin escapes. The red buff resets.
Very close. It's flash blown here on Altec for the Ghost, but more importantly, the jungle path is going to be so slowed down here for Santorin because he's very low. He's still level 1. Contracts will be able to get out to a nice early lead here in the jungle. Pretty cool little play from C9. And the Kiwi Kid going to come in, going to be pretty annoying.
Just going for some standard auto attack harass at the 2-minute mark. You know, what we normally expect from lane swaps. But that's already going to be Balls heading towards that top lane to group up with the rest of his team. He's sitting on his teleport as Altec takes a turret shot. Might have to be a little careful.
Yeah, they will.
As they start sieging and engaging this lane swap.
And so Contract's actually moving up to the top side here, going to try to steal away that red buff. He wants to keep his blue buff a little bit longer and perhaps donate that over to High. Let's see if this does actually end up meaning much of anything, because right now, because of Contracts took a pretty weird jungle path, and he kind of, I guess they must have got chased out of their jungle, because he's actually quite a bit behind Santorin even with that start, which is pretty strange.
Seems like Altec might have taken just a little bit more damage trying to soak these minions. Now Elimination will be the one to soak some more of this as the turret is going to be cleaned out. Altec helping Balls. Ooh, yeah, 400 gold for Balls, so he does get that solo gold. Meanwhile, NRG half a step behind. There's still healthy amount of turret health down there.
Yeah, they're actually quite behind on this, and as a result, usually it's the top laner that gets screwed here, because what happens is it means Balls can just sit up in the top lane and basically just farm this out, right? He's going to be able to get a lot more experience, and they may not even be able to give over solo gold here. They won't. So Quas, not only does he not get solo gold, but Quas is going to be able to get up to the top lane too late. Like, essentially, he has to back right now. He can't pick up this farm because it's too dangerous because Cloud9 was so far ahead. So Balls is happily farming away. He's going to be up in gold. He's going to be up in XP. And Quas is kind of getting the shaft a little bit in this game already, but this one was not so much on him.
Yeah, already Balls opening up an advantage, and with the wave pushing into him, that's going to be quite helpful as High will be gifted over that blue buff. And yeah, Balls now is starting to push it back a little bit as GBM continues to catch minions in the mid lane. Should be much better equipped to do so in this game than the previous one.
The thing is, Quas cannot actually enter this lane. What is he going to do as a level 1? Okay, he gets level 2, so that does help, but it's gonna be tough for him, and he's in a long lane without a turret. We'll see how he's able to perform. It's going to be important that he does start to get this farm and get going, because already, you know, 400 or 500 gold behind because of that local gold and because of this early start. And the lane is going to push towards Balls, so he doesn't have to be dangerous at all.
And just taking his time. Quas trying to zone away as best he can, but Balls so far misses one minion. As Quas now level 4 to level 2. Meanwhile, the duo of Cloud9 Challenger and NRG meet in the bottom. Spell Shield.
Nice.
That's a very good amount of damage on Elimination.
Yeah, that was really good. And Lemon did not realize he was standing on a ward there. NRG plays it cool, and they do get a really good trade over onto Lemon. And they have an XP advantage here in their bot lane. We'll see if they can exploit that at all. Kiwi Kid also taking Ignite means that Lemon has to respect the all-in.
Santorin even waiting on that bottom side, trying to set up his team for success. As Contracts is going to try to clear out his Krugs. Santorin looks like he might be trying to sneak down into the... No, well, he can't really make up his mind. Yeah, decides to ping over towards that Cloud Drake instead and continue to catch up in this CS. Meanwhile, Balls continuing to farm in the top lane. Quas has caught up for the most part, but it's a large wave that Balls will eventually be able to catch. Contracts, ooh, base checks, finds himself a Hecarim. Early Chilling Smite denies any possibility for chase while the mid laners get their recalls timed. High with that blue buff still, and now 2 Amp Tomes is going to continue healing up as Altec pulls the wave back.
And although the CS is relatively close in the top lane right now, if Balls allows us to keep pushing in, it does kind of lie to you a bit, because you do end up having a fair bit of that CS denied just by your own minions as they keep killing them off. And it's always a little bit risky, you know, being this far up on that Jax. And it's a scary world out there with no wards and a Rek'Sai. So he has to be careful that he doesn't move too far up and just get picked off. And as a result, he has to kind of just chill out and let a lot of these CS just go away. And it's all because of how this lane swap went down.
Ooh, High gets some good trade. Big damage onto GBM.
And Rek'Sai's here, actually, so this is a little bit scary. I'm not sure if he was spotted. He did not get pinged out. They could look for the dive. He's wrapping around, and this would be huge.
He's got Barrier Flash. Knockup. He uses Barrier in his own Flash. High chases, gets some damage. Ignite. First blood, High.
And that is so big for Cloud9. Exactly what they wanted. On the back of that great trade from High, chunks him out, and Contracts with the early move really going to pay a lot of dividends here for them. And at the same time, it's Squaws falling behind. Now the mid lane is behind, and it's Twitch who's even in a matchup that he's going to outscale.
Elimination heading towards the top lane with Contracts. Catches 4 members of Energy. Balls is level 6, but he down to 250 health. Meganar is going to give some of that back, but this large minion wave pushing in might become a liability. Santorin looking for the flank. He finds Contracts. Separated from his team. Balls gets a slam for Kiwi Kid against the wall and is doing good damage, but he's got to be careful. He's going to burn down. That's the kill for Kiwi Kid with that Ignite. Does Energy get a kill?
Yeah, and if they can get out, this will be huge. But High is coming up, and remember, there's no turret. High has his flash, and he could look for an execute on Kiwi Kid.
He's got no blue buff, leaps in, heal, and he still gets the kill.
Nails Kiwi Kid there, who would not have been able to get out once he's in that tunnel. He's kind of locked into it, but still, you know, an aggressive move for Energy. At least they're not just kind of rolling over and dying, and are looking to fight this out. And Quas going to be able to pick up the wave, but here's that dive once again, and Ball's sticking around pretty low. Starts off well. He misses the ulti on OQ, and then the stun is actually spell shielded. The Ignite going to be able to finish him off, but it's High on the roam. Really doing a great job here in the early game for Cloud9, and going to be able to pick up his second kill as Kiwi Kid tries to get through the portal, but he is popped off there and does go down.
The game already starting in favor of Cloud9, 1,000 gold, and still that CS advantage in the top lane, and now the bottom lane as Altec, left behind by Cloud9 Challenger, was able to take a lot of CS on that bottom side of the map and start to pressure that bottom tier 1.
It also seems to be a pretty consistent strategy for them, where they are comfortable leaving Twitch in this kind of side lane, giving him that solo XP, and they're rotating Lemon a lot to actually help out Balls, which has been pretty smart. And good trade there actually from GBM, and is able to trade back fairly evenly and doing fine in the farm regard. He is down a couple of kills, but High has no summoners, so yeah, that's something that he's going to have to watch out for. And Santorin now has hit 6, so we'll see if he's going to make an early move. And ooh,
Santorin ended up snagging away that blue buff from GBM. High now is going to complete his recall for more time in that lane. Balls clearing out some wards as Contracts heads back towards that top side. And as we're getting towards that 10-minute mark, they now see Quas, no chance of a freeze. He actually gets knocked up as well. Good stun. Ooh, misses the ultimate slam into the wall, though.
Yeah, and while they would love to kill Quas, that's not the goal of this. The goal is essentially to get the wave reset. To be able to protect him in case Santorin is there for a gank, and if he is, they win that 2v2, and if he's not, you push in the wave, you reset it, and now it's going to be Quas who has this wave pushing back to Balls once again. So Balls is guaranteed to not lose that CS, not get caught in that awkward situation that Quas was in earlier.
Oh! One auto attack, Quas gets that for himself. It's the moral victories.
Yeah, and you know, it's one of those things where this is just a small thing, but it ends up meaning a lot for top laners. And Contract's working better with Balls than Santorin is with Quas, and Santorin has just really not been top side of the map ever for kind of helping out his top lane.
Another return to the mid lane. GBM eats some damage, turns onto Contracts, who takes a lot, and whoa! Santorin swoops in from the side to secure a kill. Balls, chilling Smite, is going to have to run away. But he's fine as he's getting out with his life.
Yeah, and Santorin just trying to chunk him out there, which is going to be nice for Quas, because now Balls either has to base, which will give Quas time to push it in and TP back, or he has to accept that he's going to lose some of that CS. So that is a nice little move there from Santorin, and getting that damage down, even though he wasn't going to kill him, is still very valuable. So a smart little play, and now Santorin is moving up to the top side to make sure that his top laner will be okay. Quas doesn't want to blow the TP, so they will get this advantage. Here's the play once again. And, oh, Balls actually failed to jump over the wall. It was supposed to be a 3-man dive there.
Whoops.
And had Balls actually got over, they might have killed that. I missed that the first time around, but Balls kind of face planted into the wall a little bit there. Yep. That's an oopsie.
Quas brings that big minion wave up there.
They're looking for a dive.
Santorin is waiting in the wings. Quas.
They're all coming up.
Here comes Kiwi. Will they tunnel? There's the
going for
portal. Now they see balls. He's still got his flash, trying to get towards that Meganar. Dodges the stun, tries to kite it around, but does not have enough. Santorin gets his second kill of the game.
That is really good, and I've been talking about Santorin not helping his top laner, and now he does exactly what he needed to do to deny balls. They kill him as the wave arrives at the turret. That is the worst case scenario, as you lose all the XP, you lose all the gold, and they may lose a turret. High getting low.
Ghost stun catches High. He pops that Mimic and will split. Chain goes back. Meanwhile, the trade on the opposite side, Altsec and Lemon are looking for a tier 2 as the tier 1 is traded.
And Quas is basing, so he's going to try to get over there. This turret is full, so we'll see if they can get it. Janna does help out quite a lot with this, giving over that additional AD. And you have the additional attack speed from that Twitch Q, so they're probably going to get it. GBM very late on the roam here, as his mid lane was empty the whole time. High had already roamed. Why is he not defending any of these?
Yeah, the tier 2 falls, and again, Cloud9 Challenger, despite getting turned upon by NRG, are able to take a favorable trade. And for a brief moment, it was even in gold, and then the turret went down, and Cloud9 Challenger opened it back up.
The bet, I guess, that NRG are making right now is that Quas is going to be able to carry, and we talked about earlier, you know, giving him a chance to do so. And although they lose the turrets, you know, they are putting Quas into a better position. You know, he's not really ahead much yet, as it is just a couple CS, but at least he's not behind anymore, and he's going to be in a position where, hopefully for him, he can kind of scale up and try to get into that split push monster that we all know Jax can be. And he has the tabbies early. He picked up that corrupting potion because he wanted to be able to just kind of survive in lane and not get harassed out early by balls, and now going to be working towards that training course.
Ooh, wow, great trade from GBM.
And GBM is not actually going for any MR early. He's got that perfect hex core. May just decide to skip the Abyssal altogether and feel comfortable in this matchup. GBM is a guy that is always very confident in himself, and sometimes he gets punished for it, sometimes does not. I mean, it's something where against a lot of CC heavy teams, he never runs cleanse. You know, we've seen him get punished for that a lot by enemy ashes. We'll see if that does happen here. OQ going to be moving up to try to pick up that farm in the top lane. And he's a little bit behind in that farm, you know, closing in on 20 CS down, but should be able to soak up a lot of this.
And GBM trying to get some harasses. Elimination looks to clear out this pink ward. Can't exactly feel safe, not quite knowing where that Santorin is as Altek sneaks on by, but will be spotted by a ward as he heads down to that bottom lane. Ping's now going down on the blue buff. Contract's looking to invade.
They're actually going down for Quas. Quas is way far up there, not respecting this roam. He knew that they were in the river, and Quas may be caught out. We'll see if NRG can make the move.
Leaps forward, but the collapse on the High. He's caught in the river, leaps over the wall. Santorin tries to chase. Tempered Fate catches High. Can Lemonation save him? He's got to choose, save High or kill Quas. He can't make the right choice, though, as High goes down. Lemonation will die to the burn. Oh, he's still alive, just barely. Altek kites it out, and Balls is now separated from his team. Santorin eats a lot of damage, but the Chaos Storm forces the flash. Contract goes back in. So aggressive on this Rex side, but he will not stand a chance. Out of mana on GBM, but you're not out of auto attacks on that Sivir, and that's another set of kills for NRG.
That was a very disjointed fight there from Cloud9, as you know, they have a 3v1 on Quas. They can't kill him off. And then Balls goes back in after his team had already left. Then Contracts flashes in 1v4 to try to get a kill. And even if you trade that kill, it's not worth it because you're giving over all these assists and stuff as well. So that was kind of un-Cloud9-like. And we'll see how Quas is able to escape here. A good job from him. And unfortunately, Santorin would have had the X2 right off the bat, but he actually E'd the clone instead, so some tricky play there from High. But they are able to clean him up, and right on the Elimination, who just barely get out, just barely surviving there from that burn. And then this is where things get a little bit messy. So Altek is kind of backing off, Balls goes in, then Balls gets out of there, and then Contract's like, yeah, it's my time to flash in. He goes for the 1v4, and once again, even if he gets it, it's not worth it. And in this case, we know he does not, so it's definitely rough, blowing that Summoner and giving over the kill.
Yeah, and this has been a bit of Cloud9 Challengers' problem in their losses in the Challengers scene. Most of their losses have been to overconfidence.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks great when you play super aggressive and it all pays off, right?
Yeah.
And when you get a big lead like you did last game, it can always look great sometimes. But in this game, things are closer and things have been going more heavily towards NRG. And Santorin especially, Triforce already complete, 3-0-2 on this Hecarim. He's going to be a big problem for Cloud9, and Cloud9 certainly by no means are they out of this. This is a very close game, but they just, you know, had a bigger lead prior to some of these engagements that they chose.
Yeah, some mistakes turning it as NRG might be looking to collapse on that mid lane. The minion wave gets escorted in. They see high distort once, now distort twice, but they decide instead to get some vision, start swinging towards that bottom lane. Might rotate back towards the mid. They are spotted by a ward, however.
I'm curious to see how this 1v1 between Quas and Balls is going to go once the Trinity Force is completed, because with this Frozen Mallet, I feel like Balls is going to be able to kite him out quite well. And I'm not sure how well Quas is actually going to be able to really stick on him. Can he actually kill him? Sure, he could get good trades, but NRG is setting up here. They may look for an ultimate. And I think, yeah, Kiwi Kid actually stepped out of the brush. he stepped out of the brush, I'm pretty sure there. Got spotted.
Yeah, NRG are going to push the minion wave in. High will catch all of the minions and juke back under that turret. Contracts now on the side along with Balls in the mid lane. OQ eats some poke. Meanwhile, Altec is still splitting in that bottom lane, so Cloud9 still sticking to that strategy.
High getting a good little chunk there onto him, but they do have some bard heals, and High's trying to just basically force them off by getting these damage out. And GBM's pretty low here. Remember, Contract has no flash.
Yeah, now GBM will flash and barrier to escape the potential assassination of Cloud9. As the siege is successfully defended, Altec even disappeared off the map, so they had to be scared of that.
Yep.
Quas did get some solo farm, though, up 15 CS over Balls.
Yeah, looking pretty good. Gold is very even between the two, though. And well-played defense by High, I have to say. Really looked good there, and just kind of chunking them out, forcing them back. And Balls may just be able to chase down Quas now. I think Quas is way too far up, wanted to push it in, but he's going to pay for it with his life.
Contracts is there as well. He leaps, flashes.
Or is
no Frozen Mallet.
JK.
That's a ghost, and he gets out with his life.
I'll take it all back. He's a genius, except it probably could get frozen. We'll see. But yeah, he is able to get out there with a ghost, and the ultimate makes him quite tanky, so it doesn't actually end up paying for that. Normally, you would want to wait for your jungler and have your jungler up there to help you push it in. Either way, he's going to be able to get out with just the cost of that summoner, and shows the power of it. You know, he Qs to a minion, and then he's just able to ghost all the way out of there. And ghost is a pretty low committal because the cooldown is a lot lower than the flash. You know, 180 seconds versus a 255, so a lot more often.
Yeah, seems like they heard you. Took your advice in the in between the games. Get Quas on something more comfortable, give him a little bit of time and a little bit of energy, and
a little bit of energy.
Yeah, he'll grow into a good old-fashioned Jax.
Yeah, he has a Triforce, so a big power spike for him there, and with Balls, you know, building a little bit more for the kind of for the team fight, not necessarily for that 1v1 split push. It could be tough for him because he wants to build tanky, and not that that's not useful in 1v1, but you know, it's not like he's going Black Cleaver and into that split push type builds, and sometimes because you have to build more for the team fight, you do end up getting disadvantages in that 1v1, where Quas is likely just going to pick up a play the Rune King and go straight for that split push build. Oh, GBM way too far up.
High forced a flash. GBM still has no teleport, and Altec again immediately pulls the trigger and net to kill. Quas, separated from his team, will die. High gets it as Contracts chases away the rest of NRG. And Cloud9 find an opening and get themselves right back in.
They kill both solo laners. They're probably going to be able to take the mid lane turret here. And it looked to me like GBM just kind of walked up into the face of Contracts. And that was some serious disrespect there from GBM. And Cloud9 are going to make a very aggressive call. They're going straight to the Baron. Kiwi Kid might get popped.
Oh, he needs an auto. Oh, but he's still able to get the kill. High will almost certainly die unless he can make it over the wall. The Monsoon, he makes it out with his life. Cloud9 are doing the Baron. Santorin used his onslaught already. He's got to go around the old-fashioned way. It's down to 3,000 health. Can they burn it in time? Balls misses his flash as OQ dodges with one of his own. And he's actually still got that flash, so could chase. Baron is picked up, but Santorin and OQ have already left.
20-minute Baron, and OQ is going to go down here too. Huge swing for Cloud9.
Balls will catch up and net a kill with the assistance of his team. 6-5 now with the Baron buff.
That is so disastrous for NRG, who was looking really good throughout this game, and then one big lapse in judgment. Both the solo laners go down, and we'll see how it all starts here. Look at GBM. What is he doing? He just walks through Contracts and gets completely destroyed, throwing the fight and perhaps throwing their lead and maybe the game, because Quas goes down too, and it's a 20-minute Baron. So gutsy, and that is kind of the Cloud9 hallmark of the past, is making these risky calls. This time it pays off big as they grab the Baron, and we'll be able to potentially push this gold lead a lot further.
Yeah, and this is 3 out of 5 members of the same Cloud9 that was notorious for some of the most powerful Baron usages in the LCS. We'll see if that trait continues onto this new Cloud9 Challenger roster, as Infernal Drake is up in 30 seconds. And with a 3,000 gold lead and some fresh items under their belts, Cloud9 will start looking to press their advantage.
They will. They have the side lanes shoving. That eventually is going to have to be answered. And this is High. That is 4-1, and he is strong right now.
Ball's trying to chase. Goes Mega.
They can just go for mid lane now, as they have kind of zoned them off here, and they have the inside track, and we'll be able to push over here hard to clear out these Baron minions. And High's just going to be constantly looking for the assassination. He can hop forward, and even just the QR, you just do double Q basically, and you chunk people out. And he's constantly looking for that on the sides, just trying to poke people out, you know, zone them off, and allow them to get more off of this. And he's playing LeBlanc incredibly well.
Yeah, Infernal Drake is picked up for Cloud9 with the pressure that High was placing in the mid lane. NRG could not fight it. Spell Shield for OQ blocks the Ethereal Chains, but Altec in the front again. He's tanking turret right now. Santorin gets shut down by Altec.
And Cloud9 just have flipped the switch. They're going to get another turret here. A massive swing off the back of the Baron, up almost 6,000 gold at this point. And it looks like they don't even want to stop. They have the side lanes pushing in. They could keep going. Santorin is down.
Minions now rushing forward. They've still got about 60 seconds left. Fly gets damage onto GBM, but misses the chain. Ball's in the front, zoning away as Quas will keep High back, as he's now ghosted.
Altec needs to be carefully standing in that ultimate.
Yeah, there's the Monsoon. Elimination dives to the Boomerang. Flash gets out of the Tempered Fate, and suddenly Cloud9 have bitten off too much more than they can chew. Altec tries to kite it out. He's dodging away from Kiwi Kid. He's stealth, but the Pink Ward, and he will escape with his life. Quas, poison ticking is not enough. Altec escapes, and 3 members of Cloud9 go down.
That was so well played by Quas, staying alive till Counter-Strike came back up and picking up another kill there. Really well done by him, but Altec, a little bit of disrespect, kind of just chilling in the Victor ultimate there.
Yeah.
Got very low, and it meant he could not contribute as much once the team fight broke down. So it was Cloud9 oversteps a little bit, and now will let NRG back in.
Yeah, now pushing down that mid lane.
Contracts
collapses, looking for the knockup, gets 3. Altec flanks again. Santorin dives onto him and tries to kill him, and that's going to be enough to drop it. However, here comes a teleport. Ball's trying to rush in with the Frozen Mallet. Can he clean this up? He's got slows on slows. Balls. Oh man, triple kill. Looking for the Quadra. Quas chases around. He lands the Boomerang. That's a leap strike. Does he have the cooldown? Meganar is about to pop. High is chasing as well with elimination.
He's going to get chased down eventually here. I think High will probably be able to get this one, as he has the ultimate available very shortly and can just distort over and try to clean up Quas.
Yeah, leaps in for the ace. High gets it. 12 kills to 10. 5,000 gold for Cloud9.
And here it is once again. Contracts, the 4-man knockup, and Altec just raining down terror on these guys. Santorin with a nice turnaround onto him to be able to pick that up in conjunction with GBM. And Quas TP's in, but he's very low, so his contribution to this fight is pretty limited. And at the same time, Cloud9 pushing top lane, get another turret. And right back almost up to that 6K gold lead. Very action-packed game, as Cloud9 just seems to always want to make aggressive play. Whether it's right or wrong, they're always going for it. And more often, they're looking great doing it.
Cloud9 looking so strong in this series, showing that time has not dulled the abilities of these players at all. And Contracts, the newcomer of the team, synergizing so well with them as Kiwi Kid takes a long journey. Contracts chases just to scare Kiwi Kid back and send a message more than anything else. But now it's another 2 minutes before that dragon respawns. Altec up 40 CS over OQ. And Balls, this game he's down 30 CS behind Quas, but that effect has been largely neutralized. High goes back in and immediately regrets it.
One of the things that Cloud9's aggression is really netting them to here is the fact that Quas does not have time to sit in the side lanes and split. He wants to be just farming, and building up this advantage, but he's not actually able to do it because his team is like constantly under threat of diving. And they're always going to be willing to pull the trigger. They've shown that, so Cloud9 can just continue to threaten these dives, continue to play it very aggressively, and it makes Quas group with the team, which is not what he wants to be doing. He wants to be extending his advantage in the side lane, getting CS, and really trying to pick up a lot of these turrets, because right now it's 6 turrets to 2, and if the Jax is just going to be relegated to grouping, it's going to make it tough.
Certainly will be, and now with the 5 members of NRG grouped up in the mid lane, they're trying to head over towards the pit, set up some vision, as Baron is now up in 40 seconds. Cloud9 Challenger will not give them that reprieve, though. They get wards in half of their red side jungle, but can't make it all the way to that Baron pit. As High, so aggressive, just dropping that Mimic anytime it's on cooldown. Whoa!
He's going to just keep doing it. He zips in and until they can actually punish him for it and land some CC, which is very hard to do because they don't really have targeted CC, right? That's something that champions like Maokai actually are really good against, is that if they jump forward, you can W them, you can root them, and try to pick them up. But they don't have that here on NRG, so as long as High is quick, he should be able to always get out. They're going for it.
High leaps back. There's on the hunt to try to cut it out. High tries to dodge Santorin. He is able to get the kill with Altec on the Quas. Santorin split, but Altec in the front line. The unexpected place for the AD carry to be picks up 2 kills as Cloud9 now dive onto GBM. He will almost certainly go down as Contracts and High follow up. There goes a Cosmic Binding from Kiwi to try to slow Cloud9, but it seems like nothing can stop them from expediting this advantage.
The inhibitor is down, and once again, Cloud9, not the ones to make the safe play, are going to stick around at very low HP here. Can Santorin get the execute? No.
Oh, Contract denies it with a knock-up. They've got enough damage. With less than 100 health on 2 members and 200 on High, they now look to turn onto the Nexus turrets. Balls heals up and goes in. Wallop is dodged by Kiwi Kid. But 29 minutes in, Cloud9 are trying to. The crit from OQ is enough. Altec tries to sneak in. It's 4 versus 3 as NRG are respawning. Balls is running for his life. Knockup gets spell shielded as Balls hops the wall, and Cloud9 are unable to end just yet.
They get both the Nexus turrets. Mini waves crashing in both sides. That was incredibly ballsy play to go for the end there. And Altec living with single-digit HP. I think at one point he was ridiculously low. When Santorin did come back in, and this is how it all started off. And High, once again, able to dodge out all the CC. They take out Quas right off the bat, and Altec is untouched on the side until now, when GBM drops a lot of damage on him, but not enough with that protection here from Lemon Nation. And then they call for the dives. They're able to pick up GBM, take the turrets, continue to go, and they're getting so much out of these plays. And back almost to closing in on the 10,000 gold lead. They're up over 9K.
Now that Baron has respawned. Tempered Fate catches Altec and Lemon. But there's no opportunity for NRG to
Quas is caught out kind of here.
Eats a lot of damage. Flash, knockup. Counter-Strike keeps him safe. On the hunt, allows NRG to engage or fight. Balls in the front with Contracts. Altec trying to sneak up. There's a lot of AoE dropping onto those tanks. Lemon is in the front as High was able to kill Quas on the side. And now NRG find themselves split. They try to take the journey. GBM will follow through, but the tanks are in the front line. Altec cleans up with a triple kill. And High will deny the Quadro with Balls. The Nexus is again completely defenseless. And Cloud9 Challenger will take it down, winning game number 2 against NRG, and just as dominant a fashion.
They make it look so easy, honestly, even more dominant there, finishing the game at 30 minutes, and that was from a deficit in the early game. They were actually not looking as good, and it was just all of that one play in the mid lane. GBM and Quas get taken out. They get a 20-minute Baron, and they just exploded their gold lead.
And Cloud9 Challenger playing so well with that.